I just sit there with my eyes closed and back straight and try to do it for an hour a day. But these days I've been doing more 40 or 50 minutes per day.
So
It's
do you have a,
yeah, it's
oh,
a
it's,
no effort thing. You just kind of let your
mm.
mind do whatever it's going to do. You don't push it in either direction. You don't push it to be more thoughtful or more quiet. You don't pursue thoughts, but you don't shut them down either. You're kind of just hanging out.
Do you have a special space that you go to?
No, I mean, I have a room, but it's not like some holy room with incense and
There's no
actually that's
shrine?
well, I'm in that room right now and it's all candle lit and fireplace lit, but that's just because I like the lighting. There's no magic to it. There's no woo magic to it. Look, if meditation is real, uh, if it is real, uh, it should be doable by anybody anywhere because it's literally the art of doing nothing. Any creature can do nothing. It's like the most basic thing, just do nothing. And anyone should be able to do it and should be able to do it in any place at any time. If you need a special mandala or a special cushion or a special sarong or that's not real. That's just human man-made usual bullshit. Um, if something is truly universal, then it is available to all human beings at all times in all places.
Yeah, I heard you say multiple times that you could do it in like a doctor's office or anywhere as long as you're not like consuming information or anything like that. And that really
Yeah,
helped
it
me.
has to be a quiet, yeah, it has to be a quiet place. And I think you want your back straight so you don't fall asleep. That's just purely practical. But you can do it in an Uber, you can do it in a subway train. I don't recommend it necessarily. I think the best meditation is one where you're not distracted. So even in my little room, I'll use earplugs and I'll close the curtains just so I'm not like broken out of it. Because I do find if I sit in one spot long enough, I go in deeper.
And so do you feel like your meditation helps alleviate suffering? Or I know that you're saying that you don't feel a lot of suffering these days, but do you think it was because of your meditation practice?
Um, Meditation is very hard to talk about because real meditation only happens when your mind is not there. So almost by definition, you can analyze it and experience and articulate it and can convey it. So, it's like sex. Like if you want to know what it's like, you got to do it. There's just no way around it.
Oh
There's
my
there's
God.
no amount of yeah, there's no amount of description I can give you that will come close to the real deal. So you just have to do it. But uh, I can try and sell it to you, and I think it's worth trying to sell to people because I did find it useful, and I think there are other people who find it useful. The way I would sell it to you is I would say like there is your physical body, your actual physical body, that you exercise and you take care of it through diet, nutrition, and working out. And there is your mental body, which is your brain, and you take care of that by, stuffing it with knowledge, and maybe you hurt it by stuffing it with drugs or alcohol. And then there is your spiritual body. And I would define your spiritual body as just whatever remains when you remove your physical and your mental. So it's defined by negation, not by addition. And there is something there, like for example, the raw consciousness, the raw awareness that you have, where of just all events happening to you at all times, that observer, that is not really physical. It's been the same since the day you were born, and it's not really mental in that you don't feel the same. Like thoughts arise and fall within that awareness, and so that thing is kind of like the spiritual body. Now, how do you take care of the spiritual body? We know how to take care of the physical body, the mental body, but how do you take care of the spiritual body? Well, the physical body in modern times needs more movement than it gets. Modern times, we're pretty lazy, we're privileged, we have a lot of automation mechanism at our disposal. So the physical body is understimulated. So go exercise, go stimulate it. The stomach is overstimulated. We eat too much, we drink too much. So you fast to take care of that. The mental body is probably overstimulated with junk food and understimulated with healthy food. So you probably need to consume less social media and maybe more podcasts or maybe more books. Well, what do you do for the spiritual body? The spiritual body is completely covered up. You lost touch with it because modern society is so full of choices and distractions that we're just always amusing ourselves. We're amusing ourselves to death, as I forget, was it David Foster Wallace who said that? So you want to give that a chance to emerge. And right now, I would argue that most people are spiritually obese. And I mean like 300-pound obese. I don't mean like 180-pound obese. And that means that their true self, which they've lost connection with their subconscious, is buried under layers and layers of non-inspection. Every time you walk through life, all day long, things are happening and you're interpreting them. And some you're interpreting as positive, and many you're interpreting as negative. Someone said something that stung you, or you lost money in a transaction, or some deal fell through, or you didn't you're gaining weight, feel good about it. Whatever the heck it is, all these things are accumulating in your mind. And you're so busy as a creature because you're drowning yourself in socialization. Uh, so you've lost track of all the problems that you have. And there's a few problems that are top of mind, whatever the most important problem today is running through your head. But there's all these other problems you've lost track of that are now piled up like a big garbage pile in your brain that are just sitting there. And so you have no peace. Any moment that you solve any problem, the next one just shows up. It's been waiting for its turn. And even when you think you have no problems, there's just this persistent, non-specific anxiety that you have because of all these unresolved issues. It's like an inbox of emails or WhatsApp messages or text messages that's hundreds deep and just sitting there and you haven't read them. And so it's just creating this recurrent anxiety inside of you and you don't know where it comes from. And at the very least, meditation is a self-therapy where you just sit there and you listen to yourself until you either resolve all of these issues or you get so tired of them that you flush the whole thing, select all and delete, and then you can start with a clean slate. And then you can kind of recover your spiritual body, which is just awareness. That's all it is. But awareness is kind of always peaceful. It's the mode that little children live in. They live mostly in awareness with the occasional thought, as opposed to adults who live entirely in thought with just the occasional glimpse of awareness. So I think meditation is a way of going from being spiritually obese to being spiritually fit. And it's like trying to describe to an unfit person what being fit feels like. But until you've gotten there, you won't know. So I think if you're going to do it seriously. Don't do it halfway. It's like if you've never worked out in your life and I say, wow, it's great having a lot of muscle and being fit, and then you like work out twice for like 20 minutes, twice a week, and you say, well, I didn't do anything. Well, yeah, I didn't do anything. You didn't make a serious effort. So if you're going to do it, be serious about it.